anyway, I had to go to county lockup 30 days, and I got out, and my friends, like any good military friend should do, said, "You want to like pay rent or get food? No, let's throw a party and invite whores and have a gangbang."
Hey, welcome back for the road, everybody. I'm Rose Punk Rock, and we're just hanging out tonight. We don't really have an agenda. We're just we had some free time, so we figured why not.
Well, I feel like we've had to start making like different episodes because we can't always get Jim on at the same time. So, if we want our drifter, we got to make accommodations. He's a busy man. He's in high
And
demand.
here I am.
He is, man.
Hey, so I know Punk Rock already dropped it on one of his posts. How excited are you to get the legend that is Mr. MD on the podcast, Drifter?
Holy crap, dude. You have no idea. I'm over here. I now know what it feels like for a 12-year-old girl to have her favorite boy band come to town. Because that's how I feel. It's fucking awesome.
So
I feel like your enthusiasm cranks up my enthusiasm.
It's infectious.
dude, I was doing a little bit of reading because I knew he was a big, he's a big figure in our culture and stuff, but I didn't necessarily know how big. Some reading on him, it's just like Jesus Christ, like that dude between him and his brothers and his dad, like
Yeah.
it's all been done. Like
The
there's
whole MD family. Don MD, John, everybody, man. Floyd. It's just amazing.
Well, and people that follow the page or whatever, they should know a little bit about Floyd just from Drifter's posts and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be, even if you're not completely into the race scene, if you're not into the history of hill climbs, if you're not into the history of some of the Grand National races and AMA stuff, like these are going to be some names that you'll at least recognize. And I think the podcast, we've done different shit before. Two Lane Life, Jace from Fast Life. I mean, I think branching out is good. And I think people they like that. You don't need to get, the same MC stuff all the time. Like motorcycle dudes like other shit that has to do with motorcycles. It's not just club stuff 24/7. We like to race, we like to wrench, we like to see cool paint jobs, whatever the case may be.
Well, that's what all these guys did. I mean, the whole MD family, not just racing, but the whole industry side, setting up some of the first dealerships there in California, going through different brands, and punk rock absolutely loves this. They're a San Diego family, born and raised.
Well, are you gonna ask him are you gonna ask him the fucking burrito question?
that's all you, man. That's not me. Don't fucking put that evil on me, Ricky Bach.
Hey, who was it? Was it one of them? Was it one of the MD family, or was it Ed Kretz? Who was the first Indian dealer in California? Wasn't he? Wasn't it one of them, or am I wrong? I could be wrong. It's something I know that in all the rabbit holes and the research we've done, there was someone with a racing link and a possible 13 Rebels link that was like the first, I think, Indian dealer in California or something like that.
Yeah, now you got me confused, but I think it was Ed Kretz. We'll go back and look at that to make sure much before we get Don on.
Dude,
I'm expecting a dissertation of notes from both of you for this.
dude, and it's just I was lucky enough to talk to him about a half hour this week, and just how like he's mentioning all these names, right? Like, oh yeah, that's my brother Dave. Oh yes, that's my dad Floyd, and blah blah blah. Like just like how smooth it is. When he's just like, oh yeah, growing up, like just kind of hanging out, like Ed Kretz and blah 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 blah. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
like stop. Like I can only handle so much of this.
So,
Well,
Andar, you're gonna love. Have you seen his new book about board track racers?
Yeah, you posted. I haven't read
Yeah.
it yet, but you posted about it. And then I think because Facebook spies on us as much as the ATF, after Ken posted his post about it, popped up in my Facebook feed. So
That's Jerry again.
if you think it'll pop up in your Facebook feed.
Yeah,
So
I'm a little mad. And I know that racing isn't everybody's bag and all that, but I put a lot of work into that post to get like 20 reactions and then, like
isn't that how it goes though? You
like
post
a
up titties, you post up or a meme or something about Iron Order taking a dick, and it's gonna get thousands of likes, man. You get something like that, and only like 10 10 people click like. But you know what? I'm confident that people read through it, and that's gratification enough.
Hey, you know what? He liked my post, so I'll take it.
He did. I saw that. So I
You know
found
what else?
another kind of post that people like a lot is if you get angry and you put that in words, oh, they lose their mind. They love that.
Yeah,
People want to rant. People want they want an object that they can focus their pissed offness or a gripe. There we go. They want to focus a gripe somewhere, and if you hit on that, oh, you're golden. If you find what they want to gripe about, you're set. Speaking of gripes, Tragic is too hungover to record with us tonight.
True story.
man, I want to repeat some of the shit that you said, but I'm pretty sure that'd start some problems.
I texted it. I said it in the group, so he can see it when he sobers up.
Yeah. you know what? If we're talking about gripes, we can talk about gripes. I can't get into the specifics while we're recording, but that cool ass little project I was working on, that clothing company,
Yeah.
I gotta put that on hold.
Why?
Like I said, I can't get into some specifics.
I know the Navy told him to shut it down. You can't have an outside business.
No, has nothing to do with that.
Because you've been walking on copyrights again, haven't you?
Potentially.
Hey,
we'll talk.
Did we tell people that we actually got yelled at by YouTube for using music? Like,
oh yeah, did you?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Where do you get this we business? There was only one of us.
Hey man, hey, we're on the show. We all take it.
You're telling me that as haggard as our technical skills are, if I play a YouTube song off of my phone through the computer speakers that we're recording on, YouTube can pick that up and then yell at me? Like that's crazy.
If you whistle a tune that is copyrighted, you have to pay if it's over 30 seconds.
Well, like I said last time, at least we used at least we had the artist on of the copyrighted song I used.
You know, and it didn't flag, so because the other one, the first one that flagged, it was like I posted it, and then like when I went back, like I signed out and I went back to our page to make sure it posted. There was like a little red, I was like, all right, cool, log back in, and then I had a notification saying like, oh hey, like there's an issue with this. Stap.
Like, that's Jerry fucking with you.
Fucking neat.
So we had a couple of topics today that we were going to cover. One of them was, since we're all three of us, and most of the people that write at the page, and I feel like most of the people that comment on the page are all veterans. And something that is prevalent, if not downright a necessity and a qualification, or something that has to be on your PMS sheets and stuff like that, is shit talking. And I think when you come from the military to the MC world, or even while you're in, you have to be very conscious of, maybe, I don't know if dialing back some of that is the right word, but there's a thing in the military where I can tell you that, if you're just joking around with somebody, you love that person and you're just kind of busting balls or whatever, you can say things in a manner that you don't say, I think, or most people don't say in the MC world. It's just, you don't know who's listening. It's not as acceptable. It's not the same tone. And obviously not everybody's a veteran, but there's just certain things, there's lines, I feel like, in the MC world that you wouldn't cross that are maybe more acceptable when you're serving.
Yeah, there's rules for each. So, and you got to learn the rules no matter what world you're in. And both of those worlds have their own unique set of rules. Like, you're not going to go up to the captain of your unit and go, "Hey, dickbag, what's going on?"
Am I PCSing?
Well, you are now.
So, I mean, yeah. And, I mean, it kind of irritates me that doesn't translate over.
Here we go. No, I'm kidding.
These cock-sucking motherfuckers. See, you can't joke like that with a lot of civilian folks, or people, non-veteran.
No.
So
I got a quick story about that. So being a military guy, growing up in a military culture, we're at this like barbecue or something, and it's all civilian friends in the neighborhood. I'm the only military guy there at all. As my younger days, and there's a bunch of kids out there, and they were playing around with this ball, but they were falling all over each other, just having a complete mess. And offhandedly, without even thinking about it, I said, well, that's a bunch of monkeys trying to fuck a football. And oh, you could have heard a pin drop after I said that. Everybody screech! Oh my God, what did he just say about my darling little precious baby? And yeah, I learned you can't have the same kind of humor around civilians.
And I think too, like the MC, where there's things that I would say offhand without even thinking about it. Like, let's say you're at the so from an infantry side of things, you'd be like, all right, let's say we're at the range and and your boy is shooting for shit that day or whatever, or you shot better than him or something like that. It would be a completely like loving comment to be something like, look at this fucking bitch over here, can't shoot for shit today, took too much dick last night, now he can't hit the target. Like, in no way do you mean that offensive, in no way does that make you love that dude any less, but you certainly wouldn't walk into the clubhouse and be like, look at these faggots in here looking like they're taking dick tonight. You just wouldn't, you shouldn't do that. Like, it just doesn't cross over.
Well, if you're not in the same club, definitely for sure. But sometimes
you probably shouldn't walk into the clubhouse if you're not in the same club yelling anything.
Yeah. I mean, even like little shit, like with people that I think, there's a lot of people that are like a lot of civilians that, like if you have a friend come over, you can't be like, hey, what's up, you fucking cocksucker? How's it going? Like not, like nothing like that. Like how the three of us talk to each other. Shit, even Tragic, right? Tragic's in a pretty fucking intense field too. Those they're just nice in front of patients, but the way we all talk to each other, like that shit would not fly somewhere else, unless something new. Because like I'm sure, like if I came up to your house, Dave, and I talked to you the way that I talk to you, either whether it's in our fucking group chat, like you cocksucking motherfucking faggot, blah blah blah. I'm sure one of your brothers would tune me up real quick.
And I think something I heard a while ago from some people that I really liked was, like would you we all want to bust balls, we all want to do it in a certain way and things like that. And I think something I've always tried to pick up, like in the military, something we talked about earlier was like saying that's my shit. And it kind of, for me, it kind of carried over when talking about certain things within my club. And then somebody's like, why would you refer to that as your shit? And I really liked it. Like I took that on board. Like I wasn't, like somebody correcting me and mad about it, but I was like, you know what? I really like that. And that's something I'm going to try and work on. Or, when you're busting balls, why would you call, your brother a certain name or something like that you wouldn't let someone else do it. And I think, within reason, like obviously motorcycle clubs, we're still going to bust each other's balls. We're still going to give each other shit. But it's like, having kind of maybe an unspoken rule and kind of where that, like, I wouldn't call my brother this or that because I wouldn't tolerate it from somebody else. And then getting comfortable, kind of figuring out what works for everybody from there. Because I mean, the bottom line is it's all about respect. And I think more so here than in service. That's just my opinion.
And never in public. I mean, it's one thing if just a couple of club brothers hanging out, but if the public's out there and around, you're not going to say stuff that's going to make the public look at him. Because no matter what you do, somebody outside the club is going to take it 10, 15% more than what you said.
Absolutely. And I think one thing, that I was like, like a common phrase in the military that we might say is, this motherfucker right here. And I would say that in public, and it'd be like, well, why, do you want to say that in public where somebody else is going to think that's acceptable and that's the standard? Maybe you say it in private, but again, like you said, like being more aware of your surroundings. So like even in the military, like when we're in the barracks or on the smoke pit or whatever, I might be like, this motherfucker right here. But now I don't want to say it outside in public with the club because I don't want the perception that I'm going to tolerate you doing that to a brother. So I think it's not about being uptight. It's not about losing your sense of humor. It's just understanding about, more people are, I feel like more people are looking at you as a club than they care if you're the PX or the NEX or whatever.
Yeah, it takes a lot to learn all those different rules. And it's just, that's where the time comes in. You can't learn this stuff off the internet. You can't really learn it from us telling you about it. You just have to be there. You have to see the rules in action and know that different clubs have different standards. That's just how it goes.
And if I piss you off as Chief Drifter, I've got a name tag on. Okay, I've got a name tag, and I probably have a unit insignia or something on. Like, I'm very identifiable as an individual. If I do something and you're watching my conduct as a club member, all I have is that patch, and I'm nameless. Like for most people anyway, your real name or a name isn't on your vest. Your real name is probably not on any vest, and for a lot of clubs, no name is on the vest. So personal name. So all you have is just the symbol of your club identity, that unifying symbol for everybody. So now whatever you're doing is viewed not as you as an individual. That's everybody.
Yeah, you speak for the club when you do stuff like that, whether you mean to or not.
Exactly. What about punk rock? Huh? What do you think? You like to get mad and yell stuff?
Yeah, but I just do that at you
Double
guys
barrel.
now.
Do what?
I said, yeah, but I just do that at you guys now. I'm trying to be better. Well, and you know what? I haven't really done that on this page, because we don't have those fucking dickheads like we had on the other page. The dudes that would follow us just to start shit. You know.
Okay, that was me on fake accounts. Sorry, dude. I just like to piss you off.
but no, I mean, as far as, I think you hit on the head, Dave. No matter what, like the second since we're talking to mostly our military listeners, right? Just like when you step outside your house on your way to work, you carry yourself a certain way because you're more than likely in uniform already. And you don't want to bring any discredit upon the service, regardless of how you feel about it. It should be the same way when you're out on your bike, regardless if you're wearing your colors or not. Because I know plenty of motherfuckers that like to rock around without their colors just to watch how motherfuckers act, right? So if you're out riding like a dickhead, but you have a very identifiable bike, if you have a very identifiable bike, you're out riding like a dickhead, people are going to take notice of that, you pull up at a bike night somewhere, or you pull up at a party, or, you're at a gas station and they say, oh, hey, like this dude's part of this club, weeks down the road, you just painted your whole club in a bad light. So.
And I'm sure that other people that come to the MC world from something that's not military related, there's probably things that they have to change and pay attention to in their personality. I'm just saying, like, something that I noticed, and a lot of us writers being vets, is like it's very different in how you can communicate a certain way and have it mean one thing with your boys on base versus when you become a member of that motorcycle club. Like I said, it's not about being uptight and losing the fun or anything like that, or not being able to give each other shit once in a while. But it's very much more, I think, defined, and you have to be more cognizant of what and where, what you're doing and where you're doing it. And there's just some of the things that we would say in the service that I don't think would fly as much here.
No, I think me being me, I've been fortunate enough to where when I have stepped over the line, either, just having a little bit too much fun. I've been fortunate enough to the men that I popped off to and I was fucking around with, knew that I was, and were polite enough to say, hey man, that's a little too far for me. I know you're just fucking around, but that's really offensive to me or to my nation. So I'm going to need you to never fucking say that again. And then it's just like, fucking cool, homie. My bad. Didn't know. Let me buy a beer. And then we're just going to fucking carry on like that never fucking happened. And
you are so California, dude. Do you know that? Do you know how California you are? Every time you talk, the things you say, the hand movements. Good Lord, you're so California.
Yeah, but you're like that. You're like that handbag and lotion on the hands, California.
I don't fucking hear it, bro. You're up in goddamn southern Canada where you fuck moose because you pissed your wives off. All right?
Man country.
Once you go moose, you don't go back.
That's true. That's actually true. It's very nice. It's very warm. It's tender. This is weird.
Is that why my dog gets so excited when you come down to visit? Because we call her Moose. That makes sense.
Both of them. Both dogs.
Both of them? Does Hades give you a little run the back there?
Ew.
So the second topic that we had was going to be wait times.
Yes.
That can go in a variety of, there's so many different, you could spin this all day, but I think one of the ones that we see most often is how long does a person wait before, maybe looking at another club if they left a previous club? When do you step up if you're looking at a bigger club than what you came from? And I think everything has different factors. There's not like you can sit down, Drifter can't sit down, type out a post, and that's going to be the definitive guide that everybody's going to agree on how you go to a new club. Like it's based on your previous experience. It's based on probably the area of the inn, the club you're stepping up to. So many different things.
No,
Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, no. I want to hear what you got to say, Jim. We don't get to
So
hear.
whenever you leave two normal clubs, I'm not talking one percenters. I'm not talking about moving up to a one percenter. I'm talking about two regular clubs. If you leave one, you need to, just like after a divorce, don't get in another relationship until you're ready. Normally, that's at least a year, could be longer, might be shorter, but probably not. You should wait at least a year and then start the process. So by the time you patch in again, it's been 2 years. Then you know you're over it. You're not going to bring all that baggage, all that shit from whatever happened before into the new situation. Yeah. Now that's different if you're going from like a support club and you're stepping up to the big leagues or anything like that. That's, that depends on the relationship that the two clubs have and that sort of thing. Not talking about that at all. So I wrote a post about this a while back. So, we talk about what you're supposed to do as an individual when you leave a club. So you give back all club property, you make sure you're paid up, you do it face to face. You came in face to face, you need to leave face to face. We all know that. We know that the club that he's leaving needs to put him either out bad, out good, or out good pending. And pending means he still owes funds or something, and when that's paid off, he's done. But we hardly ever talk about what the incoming club needs to do, and they need to make sure they need to do their homework and make sure this new guy doesn't bring any baggage, that he has waited his time, and that he's is completely over whatever happened before, or else it's just going to cause problems. I mean, how many times have you talked to a buddy of yours that was getting a divorce, and that's all he can talk about? That's the only thing ever on his mind. You got to get over that.
So, yeah, I think, without having tragic on this episode and stuff like that, it's hard to say, what a 1% club would think about. So we're not, I mean, that's not even an avenue. As somebody that's in a support club, I would say it depends a lot, like you said, on kind of the relationships, and without somebody to speak on that, that's not really something that we can give you kind of in this episode. But yeah, I think the standard that you kind of hear about is that 12 months. It's like that cooling off period. If there's any bullshit that's going to come to light, either on your end or on the previous club's end or whatever, that's going to usually a year. If there's going to be drama, it's not like, not that it doesn't happen down the road, but usually that first year is going to be that mudslinging period, or he said she said drama, if that's going to be a factor. So yeah, I think the year is kind of the universal accepted. Some people say, oh, it's 6 months or it's this or it's that. Fine, but what we're saying is that for most of our experiences, the people we interact with, talk to, a year is kind of standard. If kind of another side to that, if you aren't a member and you aren't looking to go to a new club, let's say you're a hanger, let's say you're a probate, you're a prospect, and you, for whatever reason, decide that this club's not for you, or they decide you're not for the club, but they put you out. Let's say, just for this argument's sake, they put you out good as a probate or prospect. What's is the waiting? Would you say the waiting period is still a year?
I think a lot of people would, but not me, because he wasn't fully patched. He wasn't fully vested. As soon as he realized that that club wasn't for him, or the club realized he wasn't for them, then in my mind, he's kind of a free agent. Okay, that one didn't work out. Let him hang around another club for sure. Maybe even make the hang around period a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm inclined not to really enforce that 1 year after that.
I think the key there is like I said, the situation. We're assuming that that somebody decided it just wasn't a good fit. We're not assuming any misconduct of any kind.
Yeah.
Like that's obviously that's a game changer. But we're just assuming you mutually decided or whatever that it wasn't a good fit, and so we're thinking, hey, maybe he can start hanging around a new club less than a year kind of waiting period.
I mean, there's still It depends on, like, from my point of view, it kind of depends on the relationship between the two clubs, right? Um, but I mean, if this kid's still going out and he's still in the scene, right? If he's still going to bike nights and runs and fucking this, that, and the third, right? Like public shit, just kind of see how he does. And if somebody wants to snatch him up, But
No,
I think literally outside of anything, outside of, hey, this club's not for me, or hey, this guy's not for my club, it's case by case after that. There's no set, like, oh, this kid's, you got to wait a year, or you got to do this, you got to do that. Because, what if this kid was just a dick because he was prospecting for a club that he felt was on another level, and he let that shit go to his head, you know? Like I
one
said,
thing
it really depends on what the
one thing
specific.
we had in the inbox that I've never seen, I don't know if you guys have, is they talked about like straight prospect, like stealing someone's prospects, not just figuring out that maybe this club isn't for you. Even if you are the prospect or the probate, and you decide that club's not for you, but you're already like getting ready to jump ship and talking to other clubs and stuff like that. The one in the inbox was specifically talking about like another club coming in and straight just taking your prospect. And they didn't go into more detail, so I don't know if that means they made them a prospect or they offered them a patch or whatever. But that's not anything that I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I haven't seen it. I would have serious questions about the legitimacy maybe, or the respectability of that club if you are coming in and snatching somebody else that's going through the prospect phase. But if it's, have you guys ever I've never seen anything like that, but it was in the inbox. We're trying to answer more inbox questions. So you guys ever seen that?
100%. So San Diego's like a brothel,
Really?
right?
He just said San Diego is like a brothel.
Like everybody's fucking everybody, man. You got these guys over here, they think they're better than those guys over there, and they're trying to move into that area, and it's not even like it's a territory thing. It's just so they can, like, it's weird. Anyway,
So are you like, let's, in this scenario, are you the, like, as a prospect, somebody would, like, another club would be like in your ear trying to tell you why you should come that way?
what? Run that back one
So
more.
like you just said, like you just described this brothel, right? So you're saying that like you've seen it where somebody's been a prospect or a probate for another club, and there's a second club that's like whispering in this prospect's ear about why he should come their way.
Yes. So
That's crazy.
there was a bike night. It was kind of like drop dead in the center of San Diego, right?
He's about to give out names and everything. Everybody get out your pen. I'm kidding. I'm
No.
kidding.
But there's this guy who, we always saw him, um, with his patch holder, right? And then if his patch holders were, they weren't doing shit that night, or it's just like, hey man, like I got to take some time for my family, whatever. They weren't riding. He would, obviously leave his cut, locked up in his house, and then he'd still come out and fucking hang out as just him, you know. And everybody knew this dude was prospecting for that one club, and there's still motherfuckers out there snatching them up. Be like, oh look, dude, like your fucking dudes don't even ride, man. Like you're out here by yourself. You deserve to be in a club that rides. Like we're gonna go do this afterwards. And it was like that every fucking time. Um,
Well, I tell you what, if any club wants to come to one of my prospects, and if they can talk them out of the brotherhood, I don't give a shit about the patch, but if they can talk him out of the brotherhood, then they can fucking have them. I don't want them.
So is that all right? Here we go. That's a great point. Drifter makes a great point. So is it more? Does it say more about the dude that gets talked away, or does it say more about the club? And I hope that we actually get some comments on this podcast, because I would love to know what other people think. Like, does that say more about the dude or more about the club?
I think it says something about all three of them.
Yeah,
It's
there you go.
the club doing the, I'll call it poaching, right? The club doing the poaching. You're a fucking shady organization. I want nothing to fucking do with you. Uh, the
Your dog doesn't either.
prospect that doesn't fucking just shut it down right there and be like, hey, look, man, like I'm prospecting for this club. I love this club and I want to be a part of that club. That's why I'm prospecting for that club and not your club. He's fucked up. And then what is, like Jim said, what is that club doing for that prospect, or doing to that prospect, that's making him entertain that idea of going somewhere else?
Well, if you as a prospect decide that there's greener pasture somewhere, and sometimes there is, then you still need to be a man about it and go to your current club and say, boys, this is how I feel. Here's your prospect cutback. Thank you very much. Let's be friends. If I owe anything, let me know. And then that's
Would
fine.
you? So at this point, would you, if he then left you like that to go to another club, how do you feel about his status? Is this now somebody that you still consider, out good from your club, even though he wasn't actually a member, he was just a prospect? Are you indifferent? Are you just cold shouldering this guy? Like, how do you then feel towards him? Like he said, like he came to you as a man and said, this just isn't for me, but then he immediately goes to another club. Does that change your perception?
So are you talking as a club guy or personal? Because it's different.
You can give us both. I'm just saying, like, so he was one of yours, or was trying to earn to be one of yours. He came like a man. He did everything the right way. He's like, what, this isn't for me. But instead of like taking any cooling time off at all, you see him. He's just straight with this other club now. Like, how does that affect you?
Okay.
How you see him?
So as a club guy, as an officer in the club, he didn't break any bylaws. He didn't cause us any protocol issues. He left. Okay. The club, as far as the club's concerned, he's out good. No hard feelings. No nothing. Now personally, I got to be thinking, well, you know, do a little self reflection. Was it really me and my club, or did this guy just get tossed into greener pastures, or maybe he's one of those guys that can't ever finish something? Either way, I'm done. I don't want him.
What about you, Punk? What do you got?
No, I'm with him there. I think the only thing I would say differently for me is, like as a club dude, be like, hey, look, if he checked the boxes and he left the right way, he's out good. But personally, I'll take it personally. It's just like, what the fuck was it,
It's
about
hard
my
not to.
family? What was it about my family that wasn't good enough for you?
Yeah.
And that's maybe that's a fault. Maybe I look at that wrong.
No, no, it's hard not to.
But I had a roommate who prospected for my former club while I was an officer, and he came to church one day. He didn't tell me shit. He didn't tell anybody else there shit. He just came to church one day. When we called him in for his part of the church, he didn't say shit first. He took his cut off. He laid it on the table, very neatly. He says, "Gentlemen, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to leave. Would you please let me know? Can you call me back in when you have figured my status out?" And then he just turned around and walked out. Not going to get into specifics of it, but everything was cool. And he ended up staying for the party that was right after church. It was super fucking awkward, but I was pissed. It's
Yeah,
like, bro,
well,
I gotta ride home with you. Like,
yeah,
you live in my fucking house, and it made everything awkward.
Did you
Uh,
shank him?
huh?
Did you shiv him? Did you shank him? What's up?
With my
What's that?
with my penis, yes. But no, it made everything awkward. He moved out shortly after that.
So what the real so you were the problem, it sounds like.
Um, yeah. Yeah, dude. Fuck, I'll be real with
I'm
myself. Yeah.
kidding.
it's
I'm
No,
hard
just
not to.
it was awkward because it pissed me off. It's like, first off, you couldn't even tell me this was coming. It's like, bro, I'm your sponsor. Like, what does that fucking say
so
about
do you
me?
think do you think okay, so there's another rabbit hole. Do you think like if you decided this isn't for you during that prospect phase, do you go to your sponsor first? Is it come to everybody at the table? Do you let, when there's a moment to come to the table, do you just present it to everybody at once? Like, to me, I would want you to let me know, and then I can help you. If for whatever reason, I'm not going to be, like I think Jim makes up a great point. Like you have to go by what your bylaws are, and I think a lot of people want to get in their feelings and ignore what those are and make it a personal thing instead of a club thing, which is what are your bylaws? Are they broken? If not, help that man lead the right way. So if he comes to you, explain, and tells you this is what he's thinking and wants to present it to the table, that's kind of how I would want it done personally. Like as the sponsor, like I want you to don't just blindside me at an event or at a meeting or whatever and break this on me.
For me, speaking on that situation, I really wish he would have came and talked to me first, just so I could expect that coming. even if it was like we're getting on our bikes to get ready to go to the church, and him be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, Pat's holder, this could be the last time I wear this," and then fucking rap off he fucked. Okay, cool. I have questions now. Because is it something like, is he misunderstanding something? Is it a vibe that he's getting from one of my brothers that he feels like this dude doesn't like him or approve of him, and he's just getting a cold shoulder? Or is it, hey man, like that's just his personality. That's kind of why he has the name he has, stuff like that, and it'll also give me a chance. Luckily, he did it the right way, but it would give me a chance to prep him and say, hey, look, man, like if this is legit, not what you want to do, you've thought it out, you've weighed the pros and cons, and you've come to the conclusion that you have to leave this club for you. This is how you do it the right way, because that's not something we teach prospects. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't teach them as they're coming up. Be like, oh, hey, by the way, if you ever want to leave my club, this is how you do it. We teach them, hey, look, this is how you become a good brother. And this is protocol, and this is tradition. We don't say, oh, and by the way, fucking, here's your fucking exit interview sheet. Fill that out when you're fucking tired of us. We don't do that.
Well, they should learn. So, did that guy ever join another club?
He hung out with a couple, but things just didn't pan out for him, and I haven't talked to him since I moved to Florida, but he, I haven't heard anything bad. Like he's still riding. I still know some of the dudes that he rides around. He's not trying to pursue membership anywhere. He's just
right on.
So.
I think we had.
Like I said, like, dude left the right way. I got no problems with that. Like I said, like I was upset. I was hurt, but I wasn't. Oh fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah, see, that would have been me though. I'm that guy.
Well,
That's why I asked you the difference. Is it from a club guy perspective or from my personal? Because I take that shit personal.
But I think, like you said, we have to, as members, some are our general membership, some are officers, things like that. Like, everybody should be striving to go by law say. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, you have to keep your personal feelings out of that. Sometimes bylaws, there's certain bylaws or exceptions or instances where bylaws may very much be personal and in your feelings. But for some things like that, especially when you could be terminating in a perfect world, in a perfect MC world, which doesn't exist, you could very much be determining that man's future with other clubs. And you have to kind of keep your feelings out of that and go by, the bylaws and the checklist. It's like, this is how you leave the right way. This is how you're paid up. You're if you were a member, your stuff's returned, etc. The reasons why you're leaving aren't because you did slept with someone's old lady or did something, stole from a brother. Like, you have to sometimes keep your feelings out of it. You just being mad that he is moving on to something else isn't a justifiable reason to put someone out.
No,
even if that guy was a dick, even if he was a dick, and I mean, not at the church, but like in his day to day, and you guys you can't stand this dude anymore, so you tell him turn your shit in and leave. Don't put him out bad, because that's your feelings. So what if he's a dick? Okay, good thing that you learned it now, but he's still out good. He didn't break any bylaws.
Yeah, and something that you said that I disagree with, Jim, is you say like what as a club guy or personally. To me, that's the same dude.
Yeah, but
I'm not like I'm gonna like when you're a patch holder of the club, you are the club. Regardless of your status or station within the club, you walk outside, you're a representative of your club, and whatever you say is taken as the 13 Rebels said.
But I think, and that's why I think it's important. You have to be able to separate your feelings from what's actually a part of what you represent your club with. If you allow your personal feelings that maybe are outside of what the club would want done or what would reflect positive, good for the club, in the club's best interest, you got to be able to separate yourself from that. I think it's hard for people.
Well, I mean, maybe I chose my words poorly, but what I mean by that, right, is not making emotional decisions. Because just like you as a man, like you in your club, you have emotions, you have these emotions, but you still take it and you look at it matter of factly, right? You look at the facts and you say, hey, look, did this dude violate bylaws? Like, you're mad as shit while you're going through this checklist, but you're still going through the checklist. Like, did he violate bylaws? No. Okay, next. Did he come here and do it in fucking face? Yep, next. Does he have all his shit? So on and so forth. I mean, you can still be mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because.
So if a guy came to me.
By like, there's no difference. Like, if I'm, like when I was a pass holder, I was the Reverend all the time. I wasn't, I wasn't Reverend here and EO1 there and Ken there. I was the Reverend everywhere.
I see what you're saying, but there's still that separation. So let's say I had a guy in my club, everything's great. He's brother, always talking brotherhood, whatever. And then all of a sudden he just shows up and goes, you know what? I don't like you guys. You guys are total dickheads. You don't do this. I don't like you anymore. Yeah, I'm going to be mad at him. But he turned his shit in. He paid up his dues and he did it face to face. And then he left. Okay. My gut, what I want to do is just ruin this guy's life and beat the shit out of him and all kinds of stuff, but I can't do that. I have to separate that Jim and be Drifter, the motorcycle club guy, and say, nope, he's out good. Good riddance.
Well, yeah. See, like, I see that, but I'm saying for me, right? I could take the emotion out of it. I could sit there and do that shit while I'm pissed off or while I'm hurt, while I'm upset, whatever. Like, I could take that emotion out of it, and then just look at the facts. But I'm saying, like, for me personally, like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're a representative of the club. Even if you're at work, if your coworkers know that you're, in a club, they're just gonna automatically assume that you speak for the club or anything that you said your club agrees with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and don't ever forget that disrespect warrants a response. So leave it at that.
Speaking of representing the club, without going into details, you get to go on a pretty cool motorcycle ride, and I get to share some of that with you. Is that right?
Yeah, we got to work out the details. I got a spot picked out at Waffle House in Georgia. That's 500 miles from my house. We can meet there and then work out how we're going to get back.
You're so country. A Waffle House in Georgia.
I love Waffle House. Waffle House in Georgia. It doesn't get any better than that.
I thought we were going to do that aircraft carrier in that one state.
Yeah, I did that, but it's not quite far enough.
Make some circles. Make some circles while I'm getting up in the morning. You can just make some laps.
I will have been up by no, you don't want me doing circles because by the end of this thing, I'm going to be half asleep in the saddle.
Is anybody else going to be able to come with us?
Actually, yeah, a couple of hard charging prospects that are going to be real nice. You're going to like these guys.
Good. Well, I guess that's it. Let's wrap it up and Punk Rock can talk about what we got going on Thursday. And we'll go from there and we'll see everybody record Thursday.
Well, I mean, I don't want to beat the fact that we have Drifter's good friend, Don MD, coming on after
That's
somebody reached out to Drifter's good friend, Don MD.
Yeah. So for the listeners, I got to explain it. Because they're going to be going, what the hell is he talking about? So as everybody knows, Punk Rock is our tech guy. And so I asked Punk Rock to get hold of Mr. MD, Mr. Don MD. But I was so elated that I, got to talk to him and that he knows my name now. So whenever I asked Punk Rock to do this, every third saying was, my good friend Don MD would like for you to get hold of my good friend Don MD. And I just went on and on and on. But hopefully one day he will be my good friend Don MD.
Your good friend Don MD happens to live in my hometown.
Yeah, where do you live again? Where you at?
I grew up in Escondido.
Yeah, no, but where are you at now?
Stop it. But no, I think this is a good place to wrap up. Really looking forward to those updates from your guys' ride.
Hey, do we lose Andar? Where's he at?
He had to shit, so he took off. He was trying to be polite and text us and be like, "Oh, hey, I gotta do the thing," but he just took off. So, with that, Seriously, man, let us know how the ride's going. Take plenty of pictures for us. Because I think as dudes, suck at doing that, right? Unless
Yeah, we do.
it's a giant gathering, we all suck at taking pictures. But
Yeah, we do. And even then, big gatherings, we suck at that.
yeah, you might take one, and it's
Yeah.
like of everybody together. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We're recording this on a Sunday night, which is kind of weird for us, but it's been a while since we've heard the velvety pipes of Jimothy over here.
Well, hello there.
Well, hello. I really wish you guys could see this. He looks like one of those like late night relationship advice talk show hosts on the radio, like what you would think that was, with big flared collar and.
That's right, honey. You're just going to have to do anal sex. You're just going to have to do it, honey.
Yeah. Tell you what, his bitching will stop. But hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Because if you don't, I'm not entirely sure how you stumbled upon our podcast. So yeah, this is Four for the Road this week, signing out, and we'll have an awesome episode for you this coming weekend. Thanks a lot, guys.